I'm gonna do it. I just need to see.
What's that,
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm alright. I'm trying to get up my data about food so that I'm just trying to figure out
Okay.
the logistics of
Last one, too.
Awesome. Thank you, Uncle Patrick.
Okay. Let me go on to.
No, babe, I'm gonna ask Emily quickly because she's on.
No, I'm gonna literally stream.
Okay, you too, so you need a double.
You can share the link. You share it with me.
Sit first. In my time.
There's your chance.
Mesmo andar atrás do nome dele. And I'm suddenly, Jesus. Are you thinking? Really? And then it's she said,
I think you in your car.
if you can connect to the live, or we send you the live and you can find opinions in a bit.
Yeah. Go ahead to subscribe. It's unfortunate.
You have to click apparently on my profile name. Mobile building. So you have to click on my profile also, isn't it?
So,
Live.
okay. Yeah, sound is
Sound is on. Excellent. On never mind.
sweet.
It's
Danzos. Oh, you full. Awesome zone featured in wall. Okay.
Alright.
That's just how it means.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll shortly get everybody inside and then we'll start the day. Okay. Thank you so much for joining and let's celebrate. Okay. Hi. You can go outside. I'll send you. I'll send you outside to the crane state. Okay, right. Relate.
Yeah, let's look. That's fun. It's fine. We can fix it there. Remember, this thing moves. And people are gonna sit down. I have no idea. Sorry, sir. Would you mind if I switch it? Like, yeah. Okay, so everyone seated. Place to welcome to everybody. Dear family, friends, and colleagues of my dear cousin Carissa, Dr. Carissa Saunderson, I've been given the kind privilege to usher us into today's celebration of life, of her life, to set the tone and the atmosphere so that we may commemorate Carissa the way that she wanted us to. There is no doubt that each and every one of us share a very special and fond memory of and with Carissa. And today gives us the opportunity to share those memories and the happiness she brought to our lives. Carissa spent and dedicated decades of her life to the well-being of others. Few of us can even begin to fathom the immense impact that she's had on the lives of people living around the world. Throughout her journey, Carissa touched countless souls through her passion to heal and mend, so that they may continue living in celebration of life as part of her commitment to making the world a better place. For a doctor's mission is to inspire hope and contribute to the well-being of humanity. And as she is a doctor, she is also a daughter, a sister, a niece, a cousin, and our friend. Today we celebrate the life of a remarkable human being who touched our hearts in ways that words can hardly express. We remember moments of laughter, quirky conversations, a nature to deeply listen, care for, and understand others, and the precious memories that have become synonymous with Carissa. Today we celebrate someone's life. And when we celebrate someone's life, we do more than just remember their existence. We capture the essence of their journey, the impact that they had, and the legacy that they leave behind. Carissa truly was a beacon of light. She spread warmth and generosity of spirit. And at its core, honoring a life is an act of gratitude. It is a chance to express our deep appreciation for the time that we had to spend together, the growth we experienced because of them, and the bonds we formed. Today is about recognizing that our lives are richer because Carissa was in it. Today we embrace the moments that define Carissa, the laughter she shared, the challenges she overcame, and the love that she spread. It is an opportunity to reflect on her life as it interweaves with our own. The Spirit lives on in us, in the stories that we will share, and through the wealth of knowledge from which we can still benefit. Carissa demonstrated remarkable strength and resilience. The path that brought us all here today is a testimony and a nod for us all to love large, appreciate each other, and most importantly, celebrate life. Today's celebration of life is to honor and commemorate Carissa. Unlike other commemorative services, a celebration of life emphasizes the positives, her achievements, and the relationships that she shared with us. During today's celebration of Carissa's life, we will share our memories with each other, our odes and eulogies. We will commemorate her in song and share photos of her life. Today's celebration urges us to learn from Carissa and to live with intention to pursue our passions and to touch lives in meaningful ways as Carissa has. We will honor Carissa through listening to music that she loves and partaking in what she believed and enjoyed. At a golden hour, one of Carissa's favorite times of the day, we will say our goodbyes. Having all known Carissa and her exciting, unique, vibrant, and joyous personality, her quirks, and her gezegdes, we can all be assured that this is the most fitting way to honor her life. As her wish, we have come together today to celebrate. And as we come together in celebration, let us not only mourn, but reverberate and echo Carissa's values and her being. Let us ensure that Carissa's light shines on, reminding us that her journey was not in vain. Let us not say in grief that she is no longer beside us, but live in thankfulness when she was. And I'd now like to call Yankel up to share song with us.
Celebration, okay? Ja, das ist ich weiß, I'm so nervous. I'm so I just act natural so much. Just like a star across my sky, just like an angel off the page, you have appeared to my life. Feel like I'll never be the same. Just like a song in my heart, just like oil on my hands, only to love but you. We do it all the time, blowing out my mind. You've got this look I can't describe. You make me feel I'm alive when everything else is so fake. Without a doubt, you're on my side. Heaven has been away too long. Can't find the right song. Your love, and I wonder why it is. I don't argue like this with anyone. We do it all the time, blowing out my mind. Yeah, down, 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 down. I have come to understand the way it is. I've been confused and in the dark. I've been through that before. But tonight I know that you're the only one. Not a secret anymore. Now I understand. Hey, ooh, ooh. I wonder why it is. I don't argue like this with anyone but you. I wonder why it is. I won't let my guard down for anyone but you. I do it all the time, blowing out my mind, just like a star across my sky, just like an angel off the page. You have appeared to my life. Feel like I'll never be the same. Just like a song in my heart. Just like oil on my hand. The 15th of April, 1984, the day Carissa D. Saunderson was born. Phil Collins, Against All Odds, and Lionel Richie's Hello were top of the US and British pop charts, respectively. Her parents' vocations, Annie and June Saunderson, a doctor and nurse, would be part of the environment that nurtured and grew her healing gift. She was a curious child, and one can imagine she had a wonderful way of interpreting the world. She loved dogs, something that would be reawakened when she met her long-term partner and best friend, Chocolate, and later Peanut. Other aspects her parents bestowed is Carissa's sense of humor, the razor-sharp Auntie June wit, and Uncle Ernie's very dark humor. Carissa's pronunciation of her own name apparently varied depending on whether she was speaking to an English or Afrikaans person. It all sounds pretty obvious that her EQ and intuition were always ahead of the curve. She led a bit of a gypsy life, having lived in Namibia, Oudtshoorn, Worcester, George, Port Elizabeth, and Cape Town by the time she was in high school. I might have missed a few places. This probably fostered the boss level street smarts that led Carissa to collect people.
In East London, especially, her home in Vincent had the most unlikely arrangement of humans settled in all sorts of configurations in her home. I'd like to think this was a cherished time for her, not without its hardships, but because this was my hometown. And I'm not surprised by the beautiful relationship she had there. She was really appreciated. I have so much to tell you of how I loved Carissa and how she loved me, but a day is not enough, and it's about all of us. I would also like to invite anyone here who knew school-going Carissa to come and speak later, because I feel like there's shenanigans there we really need to talk about. I saw Carissa for the first time in Queenstown, Eastern Cape, in our matric year in 2001. She was a mystical creature, being the girlfriend from Cape Town of a very popular Queenstown boy, a person we all had a crush on at some point. She got out of his box-shaped BMW outside the Spaza shop across the road from my grandmother's house. Honestly, I'd never seen such a tall brown girl and most elegant bob ever. I bumped into her at medical school the next year. I was pretty sure it was the same creature, having taken her in such a stalker way. I was very excited when we finally landed in each other's atmosphere, and I'm pretty sure we fell in love on every single plane except romantic, but there was romance too. I cannot explain how one can just be literally friends forever. I've never laughed as much with any single person as much as I laughed with Carissa. It was intoxicating. I think I nearly failed some tests because, in keeping with today's theme, I got high off the collective energy. It was chaos. We bunked class once to take a train to Stellenbosch and we napped in the botanical gardens. We went to facilitate bingo at an old age home. I think as part of some volunteer service. Carissa was the best. It was like 55, come alive, Useja. And then when we left the old age home, there was a horse and cart, like a vendor on a horse and cart, vegetable vendor, and obviously we had to get a lift back to campus. We forgot about the car. Wasn't Uber in those days, so we had to figure out a way to get the car back. This experience sums up our friendship and what she drew out of me. Impulsivity and playfulness. Playfulness. I'm not sure anyone else in my life would call me impulsive. Carissa introduced me to things that made life infinitely richer. Coming from a very health conscious and religious home, I think my first McDonald's was with Carissa and KFC Pops, which Auntie June dropped for us while prepping for a test. She also introduced me to Missy Elliott in a big way. When Uncle Ernie came to visit, Tim Tams and Green Frogs. On studying, I think there might be one or two people here who had the same experience of nearly failing or actually failing because Carissa had suggested something the day before a test. Carissa just always cruised through. She had a ridiculously incredible intellect, reasoning, memory, and application ability, and I'm sure she had an IQ comparable to genius or child prodigy. She just never let it get in the way of a good time. She definitely underplayed her brilliant mind. She also introduced me to viscous vibes, seafood poiki, and tamarind. Carissa knew her way around a fire. I'm not sure entirely in which way I was useful, maybe like the salad girl. We were so different in what we explored, me religion and her experiments with cannabis and other medicines. She was so much more celebratory of my journey than I of hers, and redemption and second chances are just so very precious. She forgave wholeheartedly, much more Jesus like than any other modern representations of forgiveness. And speaking of second chances, Carissa always spoke of her sisters Cindy and Nadine, and also Nadine's little one Zoe, with so much warmth and matter of factness. She loved you guys. While we were studying, Shanae was the sweet little sister to me, but undoubtedly Carissa's person. They've been each other's people. It was the most pleasant surprise that as grown-ups, I realized Shanae has so much of Carissa's spice and some of the colorful, direct, and refreshing way of saying things. Also, her intentionality and alignment with things that bring peace. Shanae, you've done an incredible job. by helping your sister cross over. She's so grateful and so proud of you, you courageous person. And thank you for creating this beautiful event to help us all celebrate and get closure and for this honor to speak. I downloaded TikTok for the first time. It's last week. So, guys, I had no idea about the magnitude of Carissa. Earlier this year, I was talking to Carissa about using social media in my practice. But after I watched Dr. Carissa, I'm so embarrassed that I actually had that conversation with her. She was so encouraging and so gracious. It was probably the equivalent of like asking Picasso to look at a stick drawing or I cannot even begin to do this legacy justice, and I do hope some people in the know will make us all understand the magnitude of her activism and advocacy work. Like the Carissa tree or the Natal plum, which is also ironic because there was a Durban season, my friend had thorns. She had many triggers and they did manifest destructively when she was younger. I didn't always understand them, but I accepted it. We didn't always speak about what happened, we just moved on. I think that many of us also have stories like these. I should add that even though something had triggered Carissa's pain, like the wit with which she delivered the barrage of insults was just so good that it dissolved the tension, completely. She knew how to place a very artful F bomb or P bomb. I think a part of why we got over things so quickly is because we've all been bracing for impact for about 7 years now. It would be a good lesson for us all to live in the honesty of the fragility of our lives and to just let it go. Thorns are an evolutionary way that plants protect their fruit and flowers. These thorns protected the softest, bravest heart. I often thought that Carissa opened herself up a lot for it. Every time I visited her in our more grown-up years, Carissa had housemates. Some of them in need of a place to stay as an emergency. Carissa would drop everything for people who needed her. She poured herself out, something that her body would not let her do toward the end of her life, and she did become a bit of a recluse. It's like her body could not hold the sheer weight of her heart. I've come to learn that some of these housing arrangements didn't work out well for her, but she never said a bad word. Sometimes personal difficulty is much more easily shared with people who don't have the baggage, like family, and lots of people, Kat and John and Joy and Lani and Ikora. I'm sure there are many others, and I just want to say thank you. Carissa was a favorite in any room. Every time I introduced her to new people, she was just the favorite. It was remarkable how she could connect, as evidenced by her Durban season, where she immersed herself so much in Durban culture you couldn't really tell she wasn't a local. I visited her and was introduced to many people, even her dealer. Oh, mind blown. Once again, my vanilla response to stigmatized behavior was challenged when she sent me back to East London with gifts for friends in my car. And I had visions of my parents having to bail me out of it jail in Transkei. It's like hyperventilating all the way home. 2016 was an intense year for us. In January, Carissa shared that she was diagnosed with ovarian and breast cancer. She had surgery, then chemo, then threw a massive SpongeBob themed party and another party at this venue. It was the best weekend ever. In April, on the weekend between our birthdays. Cancer is just so consuming, there's no time to process before one has to act. She did what she needed to do every single time. The next month, after this party in May 2016, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Carissa's response: "You make such good choices, friendly. You even chose the bitter cancer." Classic Carissa. Carissa's battle has been epic. I've gone back and read the messages I sent when she was in hospital for the surgery and then also during chemo. I really didn't have a clue. And she just received it all. I read some of them now and I think this is like a little bit patronizing. After the SpongeBob party, I was in the bedroom and she was throwing up in the adjacent bathroom. It like sent chills down my spine. Then she dropped a glass and she told me how bad the neuropathy was. I could only be silent, which is how I feel about her battle. There are no words. She was sick and prepping for surgery when I phoned her to ask if she would be my bridesmaid. Without hesitation, she said yes. She arrived with no hair and no eyebrows, but she rocked that look. Our wedding had quite a somber feel, me with a big scar in my neck and her with in chemo vogue. But the reception was joyful and all of this was turned on its head. I believe Carissa fell out of her Uber. So she really, really enjoyed the reception. At this point, she was given a value in terms of months to live. She outlived that value almost 5 times over. When my husband went away for a bit, I asked her to be my practice birthing partner in antenatal class. And only at the class where we had to do some massage techniques, which were a bit physical, did I see the extent of the deficits, the physical deficits. But she was 150% there. She even introduced me to people in my own antenatal class because I was having like a social phobia about making friends in the southern suburbs of Cape Town. And she just like cut through all of it. I'm not entirely sure about how Carissa felt about having babies and how that changed for her. It's just another painful thing to talk about. But she took beautiful, clear notes for Jermaine. And I'm so glad she got to hold Dahlia. The word mudita comes to mind, a Sanskrit word that describes a concept of pleasure derived from delighting in the well-being of others. You were always so happy for me. I'm sure Hela, Olivia, Shonda, Bruce, and all the other close ones could testify of this. Carissa leaves behind many broken hearts, but also a legacy of how to truly live with a broken heart. To quote Paul, a disciple of Jesus whose entire legacy happened because of a second chance, he speaks about an answer to prayer, to his prayer, and his prays, God, please take away an affliction or a so-called thorn in the flesh. And he says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ansel and Jermaine. That was beautiful and answer for your eulogy. I think there isn't anybody that could have rounded that up any better than I'd wanted to and intended to, and Carissa would have wanted to have said. So thank you very much. So I'm just here to announce the speeches. And first up is Melvin.
The speeches. Yeah, that's uh, Carissa was a breath of fresh air. We met when I was 19, she was 20. We met in psychiatry in Durban. And ever since that, we've been friends throughout the years. We've met in different cities, and eventually, through her last part of her journey, I was with her for the last 7 or 8 years now. And she has been, I can't tell you all the amount of happiness and joy that she's brought into all of our lives, if not mine. Uh, every single thing she did with an open heart, with good intention. And she never ever she's always tried to see the best in people. Even though the times are challenging, but she'd say, no, come, you're going to massage my leg and we're going for that party. We party a lot. We party a lot. Me and Teresa, we party a lot. I think I was a party buddy. I was a party buddy. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. We would play Pink. Pink was their favorite. She loved Pink. We would put Pink on and we would drive to the next party. Just enjoying life thoroughly. And one thing I think mostly that she would teach me is never to just judge people and let the situation play out. Uh, as an open soul, she also embraced cultures, and she embraced our culture wholeheartedly.
And we spent many days cooking through the nights and laughing and joking through the evenings. And I'm so glad and blessed that I had that opportunity with your sister because she's enriched our life forever. And there's no amount of words that I can bring to the amount of joy that she brought to people. Um, and her pets was a part of very much a part of our life. Chocolate and cream peanut was first adopted. I was the assassin, I was the bad guy. I was the one who, but Carissa led me through some really dark times, and we had such an honest relationship. There was a raw honesty, but it was never sugar coated, but never hurtful. And I can't be more blessed to say that I had a friend like that. And I have a friend like that because she's never going to leave that imprint that she has left on me. So for that, I can't say thank you all so much for bringing up such a beautiful child. Thank you for bringing that child into our life. Thank you for bringing her because she touched people like you wouldn't believe. Like her patience. It's very hard to have that connection. Carissa had brains and bronze, which was very rare in the room. You usually would just get brains or bronze, but Carissa was very well, rooted in everything, in every part of her. And she's always open to learn, open to learn. And that's one of the things she taught me to be open to the world. And for that today, my friend, I just want to say, you are in the trees, you are in the stars, you are in the sky, you are everywhere I see you. Thank you all.
Okay, next up is Nesta Kiwi.
Sorry, I have prepared something, otherwise I'd forget everything I'd want to say. But thank you so much, and I really appreciate um, the invitation, particularly shown to the family and to the family and the friends and the colleagues of Carissa Saunderson. My name is Lester Gibbett. I'm a father. I am a husband. I am an earthling. I am a soul that sits in a mind that is controlling this meat suit being held up by a skeleton. And I'm also, and listen carefully, I was a future friend of Carissa Saunderson. Listen to that. I was a future friend of Carissa Saunderson. And I may be the person with the least claim to this podium here today, but I'm definitely probably the most honored to be asked to say something here today. I'm very, very blessed to be here today. Because Carissa and I have only been in each other's physical presence for 75 minutes. We've only been in each other's physical presence only once for about 75 minutes. 60 minutes of those was in studio in the interview that she did with me. The rest was just chewing the fat. It was exchanging pleasantries and compliments and how much we admire each other's work. But then since then, multiple messages, comments on TikTok, DMs, and then the occasional phone call. We had gotten to know each other a little bit better over the last few months in September. I don't know if it was the TikTok dance to explain the role of terpenes, or whether it was confusing people, not only not knowing if she really was a doctor or whether she sells actual broccoli. Or maybe it was the enthusiasm to educate on health and wellness and the advocacy that she felt so strongly about. But Carissa crept into my heart quite a bit, and our last interaction was around 2 months ago. It was 8 weeks, and over the phone, she counseled me after surgery, and
offered her opinion and knowledge and friendly advice to help me manage my pain following surgery. And she was absolutely fantastic. And she seemed genuinely happy and eager to help. And then on Sunday night, got a message from her saying, there should be an Uber pulling up outside your house. I have a delivery of treats, of gummies, lollies, and fudge, and ointments to make you feel just a little bit better. And she only had one proviso, she only had one stipulation. Tell me everything that you are experiencing. Tell me everything. And her care and the investment, it did something that you don't, that I haven't felt for a long time with a medical professional, and that she made me feel special. Singular focus was on me. How are you doing? There was concern and she was involved. And we checked in regularly. I checked in regularly post-op and recovery. And she absolutely loved it when I said that the gums were working with the pain. And she loved it even more when I described how goofed I was. But I was not a doctor-patient relationship. I was not a patient of Carissa. And maybe because we were amiable with each other, there was a platonic endearment of each other, that she dropped her guard about the diagnosis 8 weeks ago. And of course, I had known for a while since I got to know of Dr. Carissa Saunderson. But one of our last conversations, she, for the first time, told me how she was feeling. She said she was feeling more tired than usual. And the words, it's tough, it's tough, were at that time the only cheap but hearing that, it made my problems feel like almost nothing. And then we did the most detailed thing ever. We said that when we're back on our feet, we're going to meet for coffee. And we're going to talk about medicine and data and life and death and TikTok and all sorts of things. And like as many people in Cape Town know, as soon as you say, let's do coffee, we never do coffee. We never honored that appointment, unfortunately. But in life, we often grapple with the idea of the unrealized potential and missed opportunities. I certainly do. What would have happened if I turned left instead of turning right at one point of my life? What small, seemingly inconsequential everyday moments, what greater impact could they have later on in our lives? It's something weird. It's the pain of losing something that could be. The pain of losing something that could be. After I received a message a few weeks ago, late into the evening by a mutual family friend of the Saundersons. I go to sleep pretty early, 8:30. I have an early morning show, and during the course of my show, I sent my wife a message, and I said, I'm actually feeling quite sad this morning. And she said, you're feeling sad because you're grateful to someone who was kind to you. And I thought, that's exactly, I'm feeling very, very sad. And it's that pain of losing what could have been a poignant part of one's life. It's a reminder that even the most fleeting of connections hold this promise of transformative change in our lives. And I want to believe that Carissa and I, we stood on the top of a friendship that could have been. We're often haunted by the echoes of what might have been a friendship that could have blossomed, a moment to share stories, share dreams, shared understanding. But isn't this in the Testament simply just to how fragile we all are? It's the fragility of of this existence, a reminder that it's the tapestry of human connections. It's interwoven with, with threads of aspiration and also aspiration deferred. And I am now compelled to reflect upon the urgency of the present moment, that life's brevity should serve as a call to seize every opportunity, honor that coffee date as soon as possible, so that we can bridge the gaps between these souls living in minds controlling meat suits, so that we can cultivate the connections between each other. But the departure of what was an amazing person, an amazing doctor who filled a very, very, very small, in terms of time, part of my life. It has brought me to this particular moment, and as I look ahead of me, and I think, oh, here are connections that could be made here. And these are the gaps of the soul that could be filled. But over the next while, as friends and family, you'll probably have variations of time will heal, grief turns to memory, and memories inherently fade. But that ripple, that drop, that paused, the ripple Carissa created, it's spread, it's spreading, it's growing bigger, it's growing broader, it's reaching the other end of the world. Eventually, we'll come all the way back, we'll go around the world, and you'll be going about your day, and you'll just feel the rise of the tide. And you'll think, oh, that's Carissa's ripple coming back to remind me. And that's what I want to say thank you to the family for having me share that today. Thank you.
Next up is Dr. Humphrey.
Dear Carissa's father, mother, Shane, and all the family and friends here. Thank you for the privilege that I can also say something. I have been a friend and a colleague of Carissa for the last 5 years, and as a doctor, I had the privilege to employ her in our practice in Charlesville and in Montana some 5 years ago, where she worked on and off. So we worked together since 2018, and until a few months ago, and even 3 months ago, when she was already very sick and pain, she stood in when one of our doctors wanted to take a day or a weekend off. And when she was on duty, we knew that we had a skilled professional in charge. No medical problem was too big for her, and all the patients were happy at the end. She was really loved by all of us, but especially by the patients. She was not only a skilled doctor, but a true leader who dedicated her life to help others and had compassion for what she did. To every patient that she treated, every diagnosis she made, and every smile she shared. Proof of this is found in the positive remarks that she earned for our practice as a whole, and as it was seen on Google and other platforms where patients leave comments. So it was quite nice to run a practice where you have somebody working with you that really pulled the wagon and really made the patients happy and fulfilled the name of the practice. She knew her field of work very well and understood the science of medicine. Her compassion knew no bounds, and she always made sure that the patient was heard, understood, and cared for. The patient really adored her. So as we mourn the loss of such an extraordinary individual, let us also celebrate the legacy Carissa left behind. Let us carry forward the spirit and excellence and compassion in our lives and work. Let us remember the lives she touched, the heart she healed, and the difference she made. Rest in peace, Carissa. Thank you.
Next up is Ludwig.
Good afternoon, guys. Um, I'm a friend of Carissa's. I met her when she was living in London, doing her work there at the hospital. I remember the first time I actually met her was that day. So back in the day, we didn't have fast internet, so we all carried hard drives. But everyone's hard drive was different. You might have friends, then that person has lost. So we'd meet up on a Tuesday at a restaurant. We'd do a swap meet, and everyone would put in their hard drives and we'd swap. And that's when I met her at Cafe Neo in East London. I remember it like it was yesterday because I had my hard drive, and Carissa had decided to invite me the next Friday to her house for dinner. And I was like, oh, it's a date. It wasn't a date, but she got all that she needed to get from my hard drive. Our friendship then blossomed then on. She taught me how to roll my first joint. To this day, I still probably roll the best in town. I roll bats, guys. Absolute bats, you know. And that was Carissa. And Carissa started to teach me to drive. I know Yates was going to try and do the maths. Don't do the maths. You can't drink and drive if you don't drive. You know what I'm saying? You know, the first time I was here, the only time I was here, besides now, was at a wedding for Carissa's cousin's wedding. I was a partner to Carissa for a cousin's wedding here. And I noticed from then, and this is a decade ago, decade plus, how much her cousins revered her and loved her, you know. I've always known Carissa as someone who's compassionate and loving. And I'm just so glad that I'm not the only person who spent that time with her and who felt that from her, you know. And listening to all the stories here, it's amazing how one person can make us all feel like that, man. Chris was my friend, guys. Oh man, she was funny. She was so funny. Um, I have a daughter, and she had moved to Ireland. And while she was in Ireland, I had a daughter, and she came to Joburg to visit us. And I told her the first thing I told her was I had a baby, and her comeback was like this. She was like, and it looks like it was delicious too. Yes, I also had the baby weights. You know, that was Carissa, man. She was a friend, man. She was a friend. Yeah, I just want to say I'm sorry that I was bad with calls and WhatsApps and always involved in my own things, but she never held it against me. Every time I saw her last day in Franschhoek at my daughter's 7th birthday. She came. It was like we were picking up from, we'd been hanging out in Vincent yesterday, you know. But once the road trip with her from East London to Cape Town, and you were saying about Pink. Child, there's one big album that I know, start to finish, and that's from Carissa, you know. Yeah, I don't know. This is a shock to me, but I'm glad I could come. It's good to see family, friends, you know. Yeah, Carissa, we love you.
Is there anyone who would like to say something? There is a spot open, spot or two.
Hi everyone. I don't know most of you, but I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you. Some of you I've seen for the first time that I've heard stories from. My name is Zunani. 2021, I started doing a diploma. We were doing it online, and one of my classmates was Carissa. We had a few chats online, we never met in person. but she was just like everybody has shared, the funniest person that I ever met, even online. In 2022, I moved here to Cape Town. I had nowhere to stay, didn't know anyone. I randomly messaged Carissa. I was like, can I perhaps stay with you for a little while I search for place? She opened her home to me for about 3 months of her life. And those 3 months, I don't think I could ever put into words the amazing kindness that she showed me. But in those 3 months, I met the same person that you've all known your whole lives, a woman who was full of kindness, so brave, full of life. Even when she was going through the most in her life, she never let it show. All she wanted to know was that I was okay. The stranger that she had met online, she just wanted to know that I was okay and that I had what I needed. Carissa was just, she loved all of you. Most of you, like I said, I just heard from her stories and all the fond memories that she has. And she particularly loved you, her dad. That's all she ever spoke about. All the cricket, all the tennis, and everything that you taught. I mean, she didn't like any sport, but she was like, my dad loves this. My dad loves this. He loves golf. He loves this. And she was just so proud to be your daughter. She was proud to be your friend. She was proud to know all of you. And she was just such a generous human being, so full of love, full of kindness, open to people. Just like you shared about the cultures from the moment I got there, all she wanted to know is what do Tonga people eat? What do they like? What do you guys love? What is your favorite thing? You know, that's all she wanted to know. And she's like, what about our food? Do you want to? And I was met with such kindness. And I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful to your parents for the woman that you raised. I'm grateful for the amazing gift that you've given us because she was a gift to all of us that came across the path. I'm so sad that you don't have her any longer, but I know that in our hearts, in your hearts, Jesus, she stays with all of us for as long as we could remember. And I hope you're comforted by all the people that are here whose lives were enriched by the daughter that you gave us, by the sister that you gave us, because our lives are so much richer for the amazing gift that you've given us. I pray that you will find comfort and peace and that your lives will just continue knowing that you have good times with an amazing, amazing, amazing woman. We're so grateful and I'm so sad for everybody's loss here. But we can also celebrate because we met a spectacular woman and she wouldn't want us to be sad. The moment Lizzo's song About Damn Time came out, oh my goodness, that's all she played in the house. Every second I came home, it's about damn time. I'm like, Carissa, what are you doing? She spent about 20 hours trying to learn a TikTok dance on the song. And she's like, do you think it's good? I was like, I don't know, but yeah, you seem to love it. And I think that's how she'd like to remember us. Somebody who's just full of love, who loves to dance, love to sing, and love to teach people. And yeah, I just miss her. Thank you so much. That's not the name.
Good afternoon. I only met Carissa when she was 2 years old. And today I met the rest of her life, which was incredible to all of you. June and Annie, our heartfelt condolences to you and the family, the daughters, the sisters. And um, I just want to say it in a song that I want to sing. Afrikaans en allemaal weer kikken. Dit is my gebed vir julle. Dat vandag hartseer is oor die lewe van Carissa, maar ook die celebration wat sy in elke een van julle se lewe gebring het. Oh, in my heart, ek is so swak en tree my hoeder wees. Oh, in my heart, oor liefde my
dat ik nooit verlies ben. Schroef in mijn voet, zodat ik nooit mag vallen. Oh, in mijn hart, die pad voor mij is donker. Met die zonschijn van uw aangezicht. Zien die geloof iets voor mij dan in mijn hart. Oh, in mijn hart, inlei met die woorden. Wat die woorden, eens voor mij en pijn. Laat op die stroom je licht aan schijnen, dat elke golf neemt, zoals kristal mag zijn. Is there anyone else? So I've been given the eye from the family. You need to say something about your cousin, for the cousins on behalf of the cousins. But I thought I was a person. She had so many people. I thought I was a favorite. She had so many favorites, I see. I thought I really was a person. Yentel, where are you? I mean, let's go back to the high school shenanigans. I mean, we weren't in one high school, but I can tell you a few of those stories. I mean, oh man, where do I start with those stories? The night we crashed Auntie June's car. Wearing pedal pushers to Club Vibe in the matinees, thinking we're gonna get gated because, we don't have hoop earrings like the rest of the girls. But we made it through, we got in and we got out. I Carissa, I remember that night, Auntie June, yeah, we crashed your car. We were so scared to drive home. And we had to sit. And Auntie June became so quiet and I knew, hier kom kak. Maar ons het maar gesit. En ons het maar die skel gekry. I remember then Pastor let us come. He said, come. We wanted to go to the club. He said, come get 50 rand. That time 50 rand was enough. And we went to this club called, we wanted to go to this club called Privilege in Durban Road. I'm sure some of you know what that is. We never got to see Privilege. My sister said, and then we were underprivileged. I remember modeling up and down to Janet Jackson. She also loved Janet Jackson so much. Modeling up and down the house in Janet Jackson. Our fashions, we always twinned. If you look at our photos back then, we always twinned. What else was there, Mommy? What else was there? What? Oh yeah, she was staring me to my label with your new boom shaka. Do you know that come, booyaka? Do you know the lyrics to she was my 30 seconds partner because we knew the questions and the answers. Conversations went something like this. We understood each other. She was my partner to everything. What else was there? Sinead. Where is Sinead? Yeah. I love those boots you're wearing, man. It's hers. I thought so. I had them posted on my status. I love. These were the boots I modeled to Janet Jackson. Oh man, what else is there to say? Oh yeah, those were also high school shenanigans. So we didn't have cell phones back in high school. She lived in Brackenfell and I lived in East River. So we wrote letters to each other and we posted them. I remember we went to this party one night and ek sê vir Carissa, "Sal ons toe gaan?" Carissa sê net waar sy dans nie. Ons sê Carissa's losing. I wanna do oh na 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 na. Now she writes this letter to me. I say, "You're still coming to me this weekend?" She says, "No, she can't come anymore." I said, "Why?" Nee, this guy called to the house and would answer the phone. What did he say? Nee, Carissa kan nergens gaan nie want daar's 'n jong in die Eersterivier. And so our weekends were gated. I saw, I saw, I saw Clint coming through when he entered, and it brought back so many emotional memories. I think that was the time I started to live because then we had boyfriends. Clint was hers and Quade was mine. I'm glad to see he's coming today.
Oh,
We were big, we had boyfriends, and that's the first time I really experienced having a boyfriend. You know, me and Carissa boyfriends at the same time. We did everything together. Our trips to Gardenwood, our trips with Uncle Ernie. And I remember our family just loves Katie Malua. And we play that CD over and over and over. My life is just a slow train crawling up a hill of Katie Malua. I've got so many memories of Carissa. Snarksy. But I really thought, Carissa had a way of making everyone feel like you are her person. You are a person. And that's how she made me feel. Coming here today, I still say, I told mommy, coming here today, Carissa's going to be there. Carissa's going to be there. Get out of the van. Oh, Carissa's here. Here's the car standing here. Carissa's here. And she'll always be with us. Thanks, everyone. Olivia? Yeah. No, my dad, that is Particularly my kidney, because we did that, so this is auntie. Carissa, ek wil net 'n klein bietjie agtergrond gee van my en Carissa se verhouding. Carissa was soos 'n dogter van my slegsvriendin. Ek dink dit was in 1992 toe ek gebly daar by hulle. Toe was Carissa maar in graad 4. Toe ek altyd vir sy my wat daai die babatjie was in die preem gesit en dan ons geleer vir Carissa gaan haal na skool was in medies. En het was 'n baie ver stap wat ons moet gestap het, maar Carissa het pad gestap. So ons het basies gebroke jare gehad met mekaar. En toe het ek teruggetrek Kaap toe en Carissa het teruggetrek in Brackenfell. Sy hoërskool begin het daar, ons lewe begin het van catch met mekaar. Maar ek was al altyd vir ure met Carissa gesels het en van my gesê het hoe 'n mature en intelligente konversasie hulle tweeetjies nog gehad het. As daar altyd terug toe gery het. So ek dink die hoërskoolloopbaan het ek af en toe daar toe gegaan van sy was ons op hoërskool. En ek dink dit was toe Carissa eerste keer uitgevind het dat sy kanker het. Sy was 32 jaar oud geweest. Die aand toe bel Carissa van my. Ek was in 'n week aan toe. Sy het myself vir 'n groot gesprek en ek gaan na haar toe kom en dit is Carissa wat vra om na haar toe te kom dan los jy alles waarmee jy besig is. Maar sy sê ook onder andere, maar ek wil nie vir my kel staan bring nie, van my kel was daar dit nog op skool of hoërskool. Gelukkig was my suster Dawn daai die dag op so en my kel daar met hom. Toe ek daar kom, toe ek nog Carissa se hare knip. Ek sê Carissa, ek kan nie knip nie, maar nee, ek was al met 2 jaar lekker gedoen, so jy kan knip. Kan jy maar laat, so sy sal sê, kan ek ook knip, maar toe moet ek van knip. En dit het nou vir Carissa so 'n groot impak gemaak. Die Weet dat ik denk, kans gaan dit maar te kan gesneden. En ik moet voorstellen bij Anna, van ik moest nog gesproken en niks op moet ik vroeg eens toe rijden, wil ik nog voor je kamer die school krijgen. En dus onze verhouding weer beginnen. Had je ook luisteren en vertellen wachten. En toen ze panorama toegetrekt toe kan nog onthou toe ja, ek en Ernie met jou, Carissa trek Ernie met jou, het nog Carissa se huis gepyn, skoon gemaak en te keer van daar en ek kos gemaak het, gesorg dat almal geëet het, ja. En so het ons ook baie kere dat Carissa vir my kom haal het en dan sy ons lang rytjies. Maar voor ons ry, seker is af, maar kyk in my sak en sê die pilletjies uitgaan wat sy al reeds gerol het. En dan ry ons ons seker sklap wat kan keer en met maar die wil vat van dan die opdracht by sy, die plaas het aan, en dan paf ek ook wat soos wat erg kan hoor, en nou moet van bespoilen. Carissa kan kyk en maak wat ek nooit geweet bestaan nie. Sy het bijvoorbeeld vanuit die enkele set wat het was like a floating shelf wat jy in die water float met die muziek in die achtergrond. En die Carissa nou diep ek self die skuld sy deksel toe want sy sê, nee, ja, dit voel nou soos een kus wat sy deksel toch gemaakt het. Slaap bijvoorbeeld, ek kan jou doen toe los is oop en ons het een hele uur so lekker gefloat en daarna naar die naaste restaurant met die van wat hulle die chicken chak en kakkies bedien wat op plaas met melkkos en na daai dan ons gaan na die trein staan kom op so wat dan ek van ek doen van van alle mense met wie druk en ons ek ook net so pas ek ook van so wat en dan kan maak. Dan staan ek hier wat ons Clifton Beach toch van het was like a sunset imagery. Wat ons aan het begin trappers ons afstap voor ons nou die muziek dat die politie komen. En dan dans ons nou met die earphones op ons opa. En maar niemand kan niemand help. Niemand kan vir niemand van die kykie van die hele setup wat daar is al die mense het earphones en hulle op hulle ore en allemaal dans maar in die beach en het so, dit was wat niks funny geweest, nog dus het was timeless geweest. En dan die een ander teken, Carissa, maar Engels maar besluit, ons van nou aan en het vet, nie volk na die tweede pak, toe besluit ons nie, wat is die vir ons, kan ons is nou maar bietjie studie was natuurlijk al jaren hoor ze nou. Maar ja, al die goedjes wat dus van het en praat met Carissa gehoord en Carissa was een moeilijke mens. Carissa was niet een makkelijke mens, dus we allemaal niet van Carissa kennen. So, ik heb daar nog een keer Carissa die jaar gelopen. Ik heb het van getolereerd van ik het altijd gedaan. Als ik nog een soort van dan gaan ik misschien nooit van dat praten en dan ga ik nooit weer van zien. En ik ga altijd wonderen wat ze maakt. En wat ze voor mij weggewezen van. Ik heb een speciale bond met haar opgebouwd, you know. En er is baie van ons goed, baie van die familie goed, baie goed weggesteek in ons doen. Ik zeg, want niks van die familie met niks weet van hen. Baie meer goed met haar vrienden wat met jou. Wat oké is, want ze was een baie privaat mens en ik denk, ze was ik maar niet dat die familie moet te veel vast oor haar, of worry oor haar, of wat die. So ek het nooit rarig geweet wanneer Carissa in vreselike pyn is en wat die van sy altyd weggesteek van my af. En maar op 'n gereelde basis ek afgevat het gaan net en soos net my gesê het okay en ons het altyd vir gesê jy moet kom kyk as Carissa se vriend was altyd nooit thank you. Dus ik heb het ook gezegd, maar thank you. Toen voel ik eventjes afgehaald en denk ik, ach, dat is zo niet dikker, is dat veel vandaag bij je wat zij ook weer gedaan. En die momente wat Carissa deur 'n klomp goed gegaan, deur chemo en alles en ons het niks geweet nie. So dit is die ergste ding waarmee ek nou vir struggle met die feit dat ek niks geweet het van die goedie, maar dit is maar sy wat sy wou haar dit geprivaat gehou het. So ek sal dit seker maar nou moet respekteer. So ek was bevoorreg om nog, soos hulle al gesê het, die laaste feesmaal met Carissa te kan gehad het in die cafeteria in Panorama Hospitaal. Want Carissa al moes het om kos te tot wat sy nie eens geëet nie, maar sy het baie nice van die toebroodjies geëet en die chockies geëet. En vir my gesê, ag, it's okay, you can take the rest, you can take half for you. Dit was die moment wat Carissa was. So ek was daarom nog bevoorreg om saam met hulle in die cafeteria te kan gesit het om iets te kan geëet het. Sy sal vir ewig in my hart en bly en my soul rest in peace forever. How I love you, Lord, is Carissa. Thank you.
Wat sê mamma?
I am Maureen Manches. Shanae and Carissa, the rest of the family, they know me as Momo. And my late husband was known as Ben. And I and Bernie had the privilege to be Shanae's godmother and godfather. Where are you, Shanae? I love you very much. And I'm very proud of you. Thank you, sweetheart. When I think of Carissa, when I think of you, Carissa, I remember how feisty, determined lady who allowed no one to control her. She was a doctor with a vision, always willing to learn more in order to improve the life of those placed in her care. I first got to know Carissa when she was 4 years old, when they lived in Oudtshoorn. And Bernie and Annie, they played tennis together. And she was a cute little toddler. Carissa was always had an insatiable love for knowledge, to learn more and to do more. She continued her schooling in George, where we were next door neighbors. And we removed a picket fence between the two homes so that we had easy access to each other's homes. And we just dropped in any time of the night. And before June went to work in the morning, she would bring Shanae wrapped in a blanket, and I would stand at the sliding door and take her and put her in the bed between Bernie and I. Well, that's the relationship that we had. And to sum it all up, in her name,
Carissa, I would say the first scene was so cute. She was a cute, lovable toddler. And I would adore her when she was young. Just man. I would say, I, independent, yes, strong one. And the other is success. A, amazing. You are now dancing with the angels. Carissa, like you danced on Mount Petio. And you watched your reflection in the patio doors, sliding door. We love you, Carissa. And we are so glad that you are now at peace and you are pain-free. And you are dancing with the angels. And please say hi to them. Just want to say. Thank you for indulging me. Well, I'm Lynette Barrington, Orlando, and I was known to Sir and Sinead until then. And I've known Phyllis also from high school. That was only because Sinead and my niece were in the same primary school together. So Sinead and Bianca were together, so we knew her from those days. And what I would like to say is, Chris was a very vibrant, boisterous, loud person. Same loudness that we all have as we have in our family. And what I remember of Carissa is because June stayed in Brackenfell, like how we met. And also because I remember when Carissa passed the trick. And the first time, you all speak so very eloquently. So I'm gonna have to mix it up like I get out of the stool, right? So for the first time, when she got accepted to study medicine, I remember June saying, she jumped up and she said, Mom, and now? What am I gonna do now? She said, I'm gonna accept her. Well, if this so well, I'm gonna study medicine and study much. But she was so excited about doing this that the first thing she did was to ask her mother, what is she going to do now? You know, and when I listened to what Jensel was saying, and what Malcolm was saying about cooking throughout the night and embracing cultures, that is how I got to know Phyllis, but also how I got to know her mother, because that is what they do. They cook. When they get excited, they cook, and they can stay up the whole night. And no matter what happens, they cook. Okay, they drink as well, and they smoke as well at the same time. That is what they do. And when Grandpa was studying at Stellenbosch University, time for hospital. Those rooms. I don't think Angel stayed with her or whether she stayed on her own, but I know Carissa was very messy. So we went to her room the one day and there was just dishes. No food, nothing. It was dishes under the bed and everything under the bed. No food. Took it with her and took it home and brought the food and things. It was always, what am I going to do now? And she was like, I mean, it takes a village, right, to raise a child. But it takes also a mother to steer that village. And she was raised in an amazing village and amazing people also because
June is her mother, and I do not know you. I have never met you. And I know that she loved you very much. And you had these amazing trips and amazing time together. And Shanae, I know you your entire life, basically. So I also know the relationship that you've had. But I feel that it is also, we need to recognize this amazing woman that raised Shanae. Think, which believe, you never know who will come into your life, completely change everything. Like the way you think, what you believe, how you feel involved. If ever you have the opportunity to meet somebody who just completely takes you to your core and changes your whole trajectory of your life, I hope that you get the opportunity to thank them. Dr. Carissa was one of those people, and I'm trying to figure that. Please bear with me because I have to say this. I met Dr. Carissa in 2019 when we were studying integrative medicine together. And the story of her life, her personality, and the way she completely changed my the way I thought about medicine and healing is something that I will never forget. Taught me so much. We learned together, but she taught me so much, not only in book knowledge, but in life knowledge. And she inspired me so. I can't really imagine if I hadn't met her, what life would look like today. So passionate, what her patience, what healing, and what educating. Was an activist. She was an advocate, and she had been through medicine as a doctor and as a patient. And her courage, her bravery, and her vulnerable authenticity, just so refreshing and so encouraging. This was a major loss for our community, but your legacy lives on in all of us. Thank you. You never know. Yeah. Yeah. Sad or about this thing.
No. So most of us have similar stories with Carissa. Last night we went to an event where we got to speak to a lot of people, specifically in the cannabis industry. And everybody shares the same story about Carissa, and listening to everybody's stories here, basically, that I would not be where I am had it not been for her. Some part of each one of us, the reason you are where you are now, is from her. And most of us share a very special connection with her, which was cannabis naha. Really like a funny naha. Well, that's my fondest time with her is eating and smoking. That's what we did. So yeah, we're gonna prepare for 420.
We have some edibles doing around. There's lollipops. They are 55 milligrams each. So be a little bit more than enough for me. They're trying. Big blood. There's tiny pieces of silence. They're about 25 milligrams each. I should be saying somewhere. It was not. Everyone. Small little experience as well. So that's important before you just grab and start the face. There's some gummies. The weed leaves one that looks like the cannabis leaf. They are 20 milligrams each of sativa. So I feel like let's go it out to it. And then there's 90 gummy bears. That's 5 milligrams each. I suggest everybody take those. I can take these. Yeah. Exactly. Cleaning make yourself really get a joint, there's some joint going around. And then I thought maybe we're all gonna line up and sing a little brain breathe. Like that's okay. Right.
I'm not going to partake. But if it's a non-alcoholic sparkling juice, then I'm becoming an actual thing.
What's that?